Hi guys, I'm Amy Gleich. I manage the social media for the Arizona Game and Fish Department. And today on Arizona Wildlife Views, a look at how ASU students have been partnering with Game and Fish on a high-tech solution to protect Arizona's wildlife. Plus, we're in Yuma with a group of women in search of their first dove hunting experience. And later, tracking Mexican wolves in northeastern Arizona and how department trail cameras are helping biologists with wolf counts. We've got all this and more on Arizona Wildlife Views.
Arizona Wildlife Views is brought to you by the sale of hunting and fishing licenses and the Heritage Fund, lottery dollars working for wildlife. Some projects made possible by the Sport Fish and Wildlife Restoration Fund.
ASU students have built a high-tech custom drone that's helping us save Arizona's wildlife. Video producer David Major takes us on its first mission to help conserve and protect the endangered black-footed ferret. Let's check it out.
There's 1,000 different frames, 1,000 different motors that can get the job done.
These are parts and pieces of a plan to save an endangered species.
40 or 50 different components, and they all have to work together.
Some plans fail before they fly.
There's been some challenges, there's been some hiccups.
But this one is finally taking off. This custom drone was designed and built by ASU Research Enterprise in partnership with the Arizona Game and Fish Department. It will help Game and Fish conserve and protect black-footed ferrets. They're undeniably adorable and extremely endangered.
They are one of the most endangered mammals in North America.
Black-footed ferrets still exist thanks to a decades-old captive breeding program and reintroduction effort led by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Arizona Game and Fish joined the effort, releasing captive-born ferrets in the Aubrey Valley near Seligman beginning in 1996. 2 more release sites were added since then. They have to have plenty of prairie dogs because ferrets rely on them to survive.
There's been studies that suggest that up to 90% of the diet of ferrets is prairie dogs. And they live in their burrows, so they rely on them not only for food, but for shelter.
That's why sylvatic plague is a serious problem.
Plague is an evil thing that we have to deal with and we constantly battle.
The disease is spread by infected fleas, and it can wipe out entire colonies of prairie dogs.
So this is Garland Prairie. This is our next potential black-footed ferret release site within Arizona.
Garland Prairie is west of Flagstaff and south of I-40 on the Kaibab National Forest. In 2016, it had about 1,800 acres with good prairie dog populations.
2017, we had plague come through and it almost completely decimated the prairie dog population. So this last year, we density mapped again and we're looking at roughly 400 acres of good prairie dog habitat.
The Kaibab National Forest has been partnering with Game and Fish to improve the prairie dog population. But it will have to rebound dramatically before Game and Fish will consider releasing ferrets here.
Right now, we have not released ferrets because we need to manage the prairie dog population.
That includes moving prairie dogs into the area, dusting burrows with insecticide to kill fleas, and protecting prairie dogs with an edible vaccine.
The plague vaccine is it's a like round little pellet, and it's peanut butter flavored, so prairie dogs are more enticed to eat it.
Getting it to them is the hard part. Distributing vaccine baits by hand across thousands of acres takes a lot of time. Using off-road vehicles is faster, but it damages habitat.
So we have been working with the ASU Research Enterprise Group to help build a heavy lift drone, something that is capable of lifting up to 50 pounds and can distribute the baits for us.
These are going to be electric.
This is not the type of thing you can get off the shelf. Everything was researched, designed, and built in-house.
Game and Fish contacted the Assure and ASU team in late 2018 after learning about their experience with drones.
We put this challenge out to the students at ASU to come up with a drone that'll help first responders.
Why is that so tight?
Maxwell was one of the students who participated in that challenge to build a drone for search and rescue. Now he was building a drone for a different kind of rescue mission.
You know, it's one of the things that makes me enjoy coming to work is knowing that, once this thing's up and running, it's not just going to be easy to take pictures of real estate or to film movies. It's going to be, to help the environment, to save a species that's, one was first thought extinct and then brought back and now faces, extinction again.
We have Maxwell Lombardi, who just finished his master's degree in robotics. So he's the systems engineer for the design that's behind me, with help from Jamie Shores, Jamie is our mechanical engineering intern.
It's a really neat job to have as a student.
I do feel like it's my baby, my design, and I'm really glad I'll be able to get it to be, as close to 100% as possible before I take off.
Soon he'll be leaving to build drones for the Navy.
Look at that thing. Wow.
But first he shows Game and Fish biologist Holly Hicks his latest creation.
So when you put a new motor on, you connect A to A again. The biggest challenge was definitely achieving the flight time, knowing the payload.
This is amazing. This is going to be so much fun. So what do you guys have left to do?
We're done. It's just hooking it all up, and we're going to do a test flight later today.
The drone performed well during a series of test flights. A few days later, on May 31st, 2019, it was time to hand the machine over to Game and Fish. The final demonstration flight didn't go as planned. Maxwell would not get to troubleshoot the problem because he left for the Navy the very next day. So Stephen, who up until now had worked on the periphery of the project, was thrust right in the thick of it.
So my role in this project has morphed into basically the senior technician and assembly engineer for the drone.
His team did some work to reduce vibrations that caused the autopilot to overcorrect. They made some other minor adjustments and tested the drone a lot.
I had to learn how to fly a drone, learn how to build a drone, lots of YouTube video time.
In the summer of 2020, it was finally time to fly Nakoda at Garland Prairie.
We named her Nakoda.
The drone gets its name from one of the first ferrets released by Game and Fish.
She was one of the first females that we had in our pens, and she had the first litter of kits in those pens.
To get Nakoda ready for launch, the team attaches a hopper that will dispense the vaccine baits.
The hopper was 3D printed by a student at ASU. It was built to deliver vaccine at exact distances and locations.
They fill the hopper with pellets, and Stephen programs Nakoda's flight path.
Moment of truth.
With all systems go,
Yes.
Nakoda takes to the sky. The drone can stay airborne for about 30 minutes, depending on the size of its payload. Nakoda weighs in at 37 pounds. She's about 52 pounds with a full load of pellets.
Not only will this drone be able to distribute the plague vaccine baits for us more efficiently, but it'll also have other capabilities that we can use also.
Nakoda was built to be versatile. She can carry infrared cameras and telemetry antennas to detect and track all sorts of wildlife day and night.
Hopefully someday this will be an everyday tool that we can use.
Nakoda is proving she can get the job done. Every 9 yards, the hopper sends 3 pellets flying in different directions.
So it's really exciting to see where we started and now up in the air distributing vaccines.
Being able to cover a good couple thousand acres with this drone in a couple of days rather than having that take weeks.
It's a strong step forward in the quest to make Garland Prairie a home for endangered black-footed ferrets.
That is the long-term goal. We are hoping to increase our prairie dog population to the point where it's going to be sustainable for a black-footed ferret population and hopefully see black-footed ferrets out here. And then to release that first black-footed ferret out here, that would just, the last 4 years of work, it would just make it all worthwhile. Super exciting.
With the help of Nakoda, Game and Fish is hoping to reach new heights in wildlife conservation.
Connect with us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us at AZGFD. The birds are out.
Who else needs a shotgun?
It's called YUMA Desert Doves. My daughter and I started this program in 2019 because we felt there was a need for women who wanted to learn how to hunt, and there was not an opportunity in YUMA.
And you're gonna lean into your shot. So you're gonna lean it like that's a dove over there.
We take 20 women. Some of them have never shot guns, some of them have never shot shotguns, some of them have a little bit of hunting experience, but are not confident. It does fine-tune their skills. They get to ask questions and be taught the correct way, build a fire, how to load and unload their guns, and just in general, be safe, ethical hunters.
All right, so you're behind him, but see how that felt?
Yeah, yeah.
Building relationships and having these women feel like they're in a safe environment to learn. That is one of the best parts of the program.
Put your other thumb on the other side.
The community really comes together for this group. We have a shotgun that's donated to give away. We're going to give away a bunch of door prizes. There's one mentor for every woman. And we have mentors from all over the community. We have Rod and Gun Club people. We have some BLM people here. We have Game and Fish.
Larissa was great. Having that mentor there and just the guidance really helped out with the confidence level.
Shooting in close proximity like this, with safety was our #1 concern, so she was very informative and kind of kept me straight.
I have 6 female mentors that are with me through the whole series. They are supportive, kind, knowledgeable, brave, inspiration for these women.
When women teach women, there's a supportive approach that we want them to be successful. We're not competitive, we're all about the fun.
We couldn't do it without the mentors, that's for sure. And I respect and appreciate their time that they give to this group.
See how all these...
And then there's the conservation side. This is something we've talked to them about, where Game and Fish funds come from. For every woman out here, we're shooting ammo, some of them are buying guns. They all have a hunting license with a migratory bird stamp. It's a win-win for everybody.
Okay, here you go, here you go, here you go. Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. There you go.
We want to move them on to the javelina hunt and maybe a deer hunt. We want to do a waterfowl hunt. We want to take them further.
I got 4. I tied my husband.
You can see these women today. They're excited. They feel empowered. They are enjoying what they're doing, and I enjoy being able to put this together for them.
Whoa, that
close.
Hi, my name is John Odell with the Arizona Game and Fish Department. Now that you got all of those great doves at home, let's go ahead and show you how to cook them up. Here's a really simple recipe. It's a 3-ingredient barbecue sauce. We're gonna cook with 2 tablespoons of the gochujang red pepper sauce, 2 tablespoons of your favorite honey, and then 4 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil. We also are gonna use a 1/4 cup of green onions, as well as just kind of a sprinkling of some extra sesame seeds on top. Now I'm going to show you how to spatchcock your birds using the palm of your hand and the cutting board. So we're just cutting right alongside the backbone here, all the way from pelvis up through the neck, and comes right out. So I'm just laying it here on a cutting board, so I can get my palm right there on the center of that breastplate and just push down. It'll hopefully break it just a little bit so it all sits flat. Now we'll put this really low. We're going to baste the sauce on the skin side of the birds. That toasted sesame oil that's in this sauce starts to work exactly as an oil would if you were oiling the grates. And help prevent it from sticking. So your grill doesn't really require any preparation for this method. All right, so onto the coals we go. Remember, skin side down first. Then we're gonna come back right over here on the backs here and hit it with some more of the sauce. More sauce is always a good thing. You're gonna start getting some of that toasted sesame smell from the oil, but you just let it go. You don't wanna end up going too long because of the honey in there. The honey will actually burn and cause it to blacken up. So once it kind of starts making that turn, to where you can start smelling a little bit. You don't want to smell it strongly, but just kind of the first hint that you might have like burning sugar or burning honey. That's going to be a good indicator to flip. So we'll get these up here. And then we'll finish them with a little bit of these green onions. Green onions are always good. And then just a little sprinkle extra sesame seeds. And you're set. Legs are my favorite piece on a dove. You know, hunting the dove is actually harder than cooking them. Worth every minute.
Yeah, it looks like the tree line gets pretty thick there. That might be a good spot. We don't just go to the first place we see that's good. We check an area pretty thoroughly.
These Arizona Game and Fish research biologists are spending a lot of time in the White Mountains.
So we, as part of the terrestrial research program, are doing an abundance study of Mexican wolves.
They're searching for suitable locations to set up motion-activated trail cameras.
Sometimes you can drive some of it, otherwise it's just hiking around, trying to find a good spot.
Places where Mexican wolves are likely to be seen.
We mostly like closed Forest Service roads, game trails that are pretty distinct, because wolves are just going to travel the easiest path they can. And you can see this camera is facing out toward the meadow on a very distinct game trail where elk are, wolves are, as their major prey source. This is to determine the feasibility of using camera traps as a method for estimating abundance and determining population size.
All right, we're good to go.
It's always fun to see what the cameras captured.
Sometimes you'll see like elk kind of fighting.
We've gotten bears, we've gotten mountain lions, bobcats.
These images are from a 1-month pilot study to learn how to get the best images of wolves.
The wolves are the coolest thing we've seen so far. Yep. We've probably got, I'd say 9 or 10 different events of wolves, over a month period. It was not a long period. Our pilot study was trying to figure out correct settings and placement patterns.
Definitely making sure we find areas that have a little bit less vegetation than others as far as triggering the cameras.
Yeah, grass blowing is definitely something that becomes a problem, especially on the windy days or when things are growing up.
We finished our pilot study and are currently using the information we learned from that to set up a grid of 125 cameras across most of Apache Junction forest.
The cameras will be placed about 6 kilometers apart.
So we're hoping to put out a grid that encompasses the entirety of the Mexican wolf range in Arizona.
The White Mountains are where the Endangered Mexican Wolf Recovery Project started back in 1998 with the release of a handful of captive-raised wolves. As of 2018, the Mexican wolf population in Arizona and New Mexico had grown to a minimum of 131 wolves. Each winter, biologists count wolves from the ground and the air, thanks to GPS and radio collars on some of the wolves. By locating collared wolves, biologists can count other members of their packs. And by marking each collar with a unique pattern of colored tape, they have a way to visually identify individual wolves. Those markings are critical to the camera study.
Yeah, so the method that we're going to be using is a mark recite model that's going to utilize the sightings of individual wolves, which we'll determine using their unique patterns on their GPS collars.
Each collar costs about $2,000 a year to buy and operate. At about $500 a piece, the cameras could be a way to save money.
As wolf populations and geographic distribution increase, we'll be able to estimate abundance without maybe some of the costly methods that we currently use.
In 2019, researchers spent the month of October deploying 125 cameras. They'll be checking them about every 2 weeks.
It'll be interesting to see what happens when the snow starts flying and see how that affects our access.
We may have to weatherproof the cameras at some point, make sure snow drifts don't bury them, and for the most part, these shouldn't move for a year.
After 1 year, they hope to have a clear picture of how effective cameras are as a tool for estimating Mexican wolf abundance.
This whole study could be considered a pilot study. We're trying to determine if this method is a good method to take into the future.
The Arizona Game and Fish Department conserves and protects more than 800 wildlife species in Arizona and receives no general tax fund dollars to do so. If you'd like to find out more about how the agency is funded and how to support wildlife conservation, go to azwildlifehero.com. In the shadow of the Superstition Mountains, Lester Walker has created a bird garden.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. We're so glad you could join us. And until next time, seriously, get out there and enjoy those Arizona wildlife views.
To subscribe to Arizona Wildlife Views magazine, which includes the Arizona Wildlife Views calendar, visit www.azgfd.gov/magazine.